Hello everyone, more FACEIT action today. We're going to be looking at TSM again, who have come up against Green Fortnite. Now, TSM, who are the old Timeless team and have been doing pretty damn well in FACEIT so far. Not too many issues for them, even though they've maybe not had some of the sternest tests. Today they come up against Green Fortnite, who are a team who weren't really on my radar coming into FACEIT, but they've had a pretty good string of results, and I think this game against TSM will serve as a pretty good litmus test of how legitimate they are. You know, are they just the best of the lower teams, or can they compete with any of the sort of like mid to upper part of North America? So I'll talk you through the map bans for this. We're going to be it's best of three, like all the FACEIT games are in this round robin. I'm going to start with Green Fortnite, who actually get map 1 and 3 pick here. So they start with a Busan ban, TSM ban Oasis, Samoa will be the pick for Green Fortnite, which obviously TSM had a few struggles with against Pip in their earlier series this week. Then TSM will ban Midtown, Green Fortnite will ban Parisio, so take away that dive option from TSM that they like to do, and then Iconworld will actually be the pick from TSM. Then, if we need the third map, Green Fortnite ban Junkertown, TSM ban Shambali, and it'll be Route 66 pick for Green Fortnite, which is interesting, because again, potentially a chance for TSM to lean into dive there, so interesting that Green Fortnite pick that one. Well, I don't know as much as about Green Fortnite, so we can kind of just jump into this one and see what we get. So, if we take a look here on our first map, we'll be starting on Samoa, the pick of Green Fortnite on our left, TSM on our right. So with TSM, there's always a question of what combination of their roster they're using. It's going to be Icy and Chopper in for this one, the same we saw previously. And then on the side of Green Fortnite, we've got some players we might be more familiar with. Anian and Halo, you might remember them from Overwatch League. Both had relatively limited appearances in Overwatch League, but still got a chance to play there. X10 you might be familiar with a little bit more from Calling All Heroes. Had a lot of success there. And we'll jump into this first one. Thank you, Creamy Beamy, for the sub. What a way to start with the train arriving as we start on Samoa. Thank you very much. And it's going to be Mauga coming out here. So, Icy going to be looking for some of these aggressive slams. Going deep there, catches a lot of them, forces a recall out of it as well, and also gets to claim all of the map for TSM. TSM will swarm onto the point, getting that early capture progress going, but Desatine will be looking to respond here. Doesn't want to give that flip for free. They're having to try and deal with Bubblegum in the back here, but Rocket's got that under control for now. And now Icy's got that chance to go again. Slam connects onto Halo, forces the lamp out. Rocket is behind. Bubblegum marking that one. Desatine is forced to block and has to give all the space. So TSM will get the first cap here. But there were no casualties on the side of Green Fortnite, so they can come back. Slow to try and help force point here, but Icy's lining up another big slam. Doesn't get X10 with this one, but is all over them. Pocket coming through from Anian, but it's not enough. CJ will finish the kill, and now TSM can turn their attention to Desatine. Rocket is the other side, and now finish them off quickly. Looking for trades. Pulse Bomb comes out, nothing doing, and a commanding first fight from TSM. So far, dealing with these slams has been an issue. Sigma swap coming in now. And what's quite nice about the Sigma is if the Mauga slams in, you can then shield off all the support from the Mauga. So shield off Chopper, look to rock after the slam, and then matrix all the cardiac overdrive feeling from the Mauga. But it's going to be Kitsune Rush push to deal with first. So Desatine's just going to have to matrix their team out of that one, but it's not enough. Maple and Rocket going to cause the damage. They're forced all the way back to spawn, and they should get every single kill here, except for Bubblegum. Bubblegum's made it out. Relentless pressure, relentless aggression so far from TSM. No answer to these slams so far. That one obviously was a bit turbocharged with the Kitsune Rush, so even more difficult to deal with. They're now coming back with Window and High Noon here. They'll probably start with one of those ults, have the beat if they need it. They have to factor in this cage. Not great answers to the cage, really, from the side of Green Fortnite. They'll start by forcing the point. Aggressive High Noon. Window in response here. Chopper is hard. Peeking it though. Full Matrix coming through, but the Pulse Bomb's done the damage in the back. Stuck at the choke now again on Green Fortnite. Rocket is lurking behind, but they actually catch Icy with this window. Doesn't seem that should be allowed. Now Desatine can walk forward. Rock forces Chopper to roll. Able to finish up afterwards. They're looking for trades here. TSM, they go super deep. CJ just about going to stay on the map, but Halo and Bubblegum are still coming. They finish off CJ. They'll get the flip. And Green Fortnite, with 3% to spare, do have a point. And now, actually, a lot of the ults were using that. CJ's getting up to a second Kitsune Rush. Maple's going to have the beat as well. But the Flux can force out an early beat here if Desatine can connect it on enough people. Still have to factor in this cage here. Slam comes in onto X10. X10's going to get caged as well. Nowhere to go. Beat comes through from Halo. Flux over the top. Can they find enough kills? But Beat doesn't catch Icy, actually. So they can still get kills here. It's player disadvantage. But Chopper is on point. Full pocket. Rock won't connect, and Desatine is a lone figure against a Kitsune Russian TSM, and it's a problem. It's a problem Green Fortnite needs to solve. Last time we saw them play Samoa, TSM didn't play the Mauga in other places, so really possible the problem sort of solves itself if they play against a different composition here. But Icy's locked it in at least for now in spawn. Desatine likewise locking for Sigma, expecting that Mauga pick. X10 potentially going Sojin here as well, which should make her life a little bit easier in terms of avoiding some of these slams and avoiding that initial damage. But no, Icy's actually gone Ramatra now anyway. So the Mauga problem disappears for now for Green Fortnite. And they can play, hopefully, a matchup they're a little bit more comfortable in. Both teams going to take the opposite side for now. We saw Chopper have a lot of problems on this map previously against Pip. Got run down a fair amount. With the Sigma, it's a little bit trickier for Green Fortnite to be aggressive. They'll probably prefer a slower, pokey fight as well. And we can see, actually, Halo and Bubblegum taking a lot of space, forcing Rocket out of this right-hand side from their perspective. Making their way underneath now is Rocket. Will touch for point with Maple here as Icy takes a more aggressive position with Shield. XN's going to farm up this rail, though. Icy's used Former. They've managed to kite this out for now, but it's Bubblegum they lose on point. And now TSM can come plowing forward. The Rock doesn't connect, which means XN is in so much trouble. Gets the lamp, gets the peel, just slide out. The Halo's had to commit so deep to help their Sojin out, and it doesn't save their Sojin's life. It costs Halo her life. They will be pushed all the way back into spawn here. All the kills for TSM. And dominant again. Window coming back now from Anion. CG will have the Kitsune Rush. Need to try and find a way to use this window where they can't connect with a Kitsune Rush at the same time. If they can get on top of your backline with Kitsune Rush, you have a really hard time here. And it looks like TSM want to give them no space. Kitsune Rush to start, but it's a little bit early from CJ. And everyone's going to get out of this. A good kite from Green Fortnite, and this allows them to come back with window with a little bit more breathing room. Not worrying about this Kitsune Rush. Probably still a window start from Anion. Flux and Overclock to follow if they need it. Maple will have this beat for the Flux. This Annihilation's going to be the problem. There's the window. Early pressure. They're not forcing point with this. Desatine's going to drop now. Have to be careful as Chopper's got this wide angle on the left, but they're just going to play through point instead. And TSM wait the window out and then come and contest point. They have dropped to the low ground here, so a chance to try and find this Flux will force out that earlier beat. So now a later beat is available here. Pressure coming on to Desatine. Needs for beat ideally. Halo's going to drop it. Desatine just about gets it. Will drop to point actually, and X10's found the picks. Found the picks with this Overclock. Desatine still needs more help on point, but they have it. They have it. And a similar story to the first round. They'll get the flip, but only really one fight to play with, which means they need to win every fight from here. And they need to do it against an Overclock and an Annihilation. So the standard play here, if you are TSM, is to get Chopper to open up with Overclock, take all the space, and then mid-fight and Annihilation can be connected from Icy once he finds suitable prey. Early space taken initially. There's the pulse bomb. Suzu's good though, so Chopper will keep on going, but no, X10 with the shutdown. Ice is going to commit the Annihilation, so they've got tank advantage, but they've lost their Sojin here. On point, the Annihilation runs out. It's winnable right now for Green Fortnite. X10's going to find another one, just uncontested on this far angle. No one can get close to them right now. And Desatine will be back on Doomfist. Don't know if they needed the Doomfist swap. They actually had this fight under control, so now they're going to have to improvise a little bit of back Doom dive here. And CJ will have the Kitsune Rush. Anion nearly with the window. X10 found the crucial pick, a shutdown onto Chopper in the previous fight. Need a bit more here because the ult situation still isn't great for Green Fortnite. Icy's going to take a lot of the space initially. XM wants to stay around point as Icy's going to try and be aggressive. Kitsune Rush still not used here. They've actually lost Bubblegum during all of this. TSM have just been able to bully them back. Baram's such a scary hero. They still have time. Kitsune Rush comes in. XM's going to try and dodge it. Will give a window as well. Can't find a disruptor shot, but no, they've swarmed through it here. Patient from TSM, and we saw some of the same against Pirates in Pajamas, where TSM were able to take so much of the map for free. And then once they get a map for free, it just makes their ults out a little bit easier. Halo's going to get a last desperate beat. But 1v5. One more touch. And that'll be the first map sealed up for TSM. Maybe not too many surprises there. The Malga certainly caused them a lot of issues. It was more competitive on beach, but right now it seems like, certainly at least in terms of how they're taking space in the map and how they're taking control, huge advantages and everything's going a little bit better for TSM. We'll load into Eichenwald now. This obviously was the pick of TSM. A map up and the same substitutes that we saw against Pirates in Pajamas. Sionjun's going to come in, Riker's going to come in. No substitutions on the side of Green Fortnite. And it'll be defense first here, so a fairly standard Cass, Kiri, Ram. Maybe one of the most interesting things is that it certainly seems like CJ is way keener to play the Kiri at the moment than the Baptiste in these comps. Whereas Anian very much on the Bap train. Looks like they'll be going Sigma again here, potentially. We obviously can scout the comp and then pick, so I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe end up in a Ramba. The Sigma can be very tricky in these brawly matchups into the Ramatra, because the Ramatra just has the right of way, essentially, if the tanks trade each other. The Matrix doesn't eat any of the Ram punches when he's in Nemesis form, and it can really limit your ability to take space. Shield trade for now. Desatine has no shield. Just connect for Rock, but Riker still has this form, so Desatine has to be careful. Anian swinging as well to get the pocket. And Riker just bullying back Desatine now. One for HP trade. Another shield comes out and the form. Desatine has to run, but that Matrix doesn't do all that much. The lamp comes through. Desatine's still running, and Riker's just going to win that frontline battle. Has to be careful here as he's down to half HP, but will keep on coming forward. CJ's going to come into the room with him. Halo's super low up there. They're all low, and Maple's going to go the other side. Maple wants to boop him into Riker. They can't find any of the kills, though. Riker wants to keep going. Has to be careful. He's so low. Suzu comes out, and Riker's gone too far. They trade Anian for it here, but now a chance for Green Fortnite to walk forward. Pressure onto Rocket. Rocket is low. Maple is low. Rock doesn't connect from Desatine. And they've lost Halo while they've been walking up here. TSM have found a fortunate pick at a fortunate time to stabilize. And that'll buy important time for Riker to come back. And now we're going to get to the ult trade portion. It's going to be Kitsune Rush early for CJ. Anian has the window, but beat advantage for Mateball, and that's the crucial one. If Halo doesn't get to this beat, it could push TSM over the edge in this fight. XN has swung really wide, needs a lot of help. The boot denies the slide out, and it'll be a clean Kitsune Rush push. Nice and easy for TSM. You see XN trying to take these quite aggressive angles quite a lot, and then try and slide past the Ramatra back to their team. That time, Maple gets the deny, and they're in a pretty good position. Does Maple need a moment? Alright, he's composed himself. Rocket's going to be hiding on his right-hand side. Wants to try and get the drop on Bubblegum. Nothing too much to invo, and it's a high noon swing from Sionjun. Window in response, and Sionjun, catches Anian. The Matrix was going, but clearly not in the right place to actually protect Anian. And this will slow him down once more. Back to the choke, back to the drawing board. 1 minute 35 left on the clock for Green Fortnite. Overclock to start this one if they want. X10's found crucial picks on Samoa to help him win a couple of fights. They need a little bit more here. Riker's going to be aggressive again. Desatine super deep, needs a lot of help here. Annihilation over the top. Halo doesn't quite have that beat yet. They'll lose Desatine, but here comes X10. Gets one before the beat, gets the beat to try and keep them up for now, but Riker's got that Annihilation going, so he will just chew up anything in his path. There's still a lot of scattered Green Fortnite players around here, and Bubblegum might not be done yet. Chance to find some trades. There's Rocket. There's the stick. Oh, Vasuzu was there. Vasuzu was there. CJ's there in time to save his support partner's life. And he'll get the cleanup as well. Could have got really messy there if Bubblegum hit that clutch. The Rocket trade, the Mate Ball trade, really could have opened up this retake, but Suzu just in time for CJ. And that means TSM will be 5 alive for this last and potentially final hold. It's going to be Kitsune Rush versus Flux. TSM wants to be aggressive again onto Desitine. Desitine's going to Flux themselves out of that one. Pressure onto Riker. Suzu denies some of it, but it means they've not got value out of this Kitsune Rush. And X10's just found 2 kills. Well, this has all gone on. Seonjun has a bit of an angle here. Will be forced out by Halo and Anion. Now onto the Kiri here, Anion as well. And they've got first point, which is good news, but there's still a lot to do here for Green Fortnite. Sigma's still the pick. It's been a struggle for Desitine so far, but a chance to have early high ground. No real ults to speak of for either team. Anion closest to that Kitsune Rush. Rocket does have a pulse bomb, but right now Rocket is, and actually all of TSM are way more interested in point. They're going to drop to point, flip the map. They've chased out Bubblegum. Desitine's going to get the rock onto Riker to try and force it through. Suzu has been forced here, so TP away actually, but it's super deep and it's really messy. Anion's had to TP behind to her Tracer to try and save her own life, but it ends up just putting her in a worse situation overall. And TSM's flip ends up good, and they have a chance to hold here. And if you saw the game, versus Pip, this will be a similar situation. TSM holding aggressively. They want to come through, and Desitine's just found the pick. Found the pick onto Seonjun. Now we'll walk forward. It's getting punched down. Suzu comes through. Needs so much help here. Desitine annihilation over the top. Kitsune Rush in response. Cannot save Desitine's life. Riker is low though, and here comes X10. Shuts down one. Not quite done yet, actually. Wants to find this Lucio. Has to deal with this cast, but Seonjun is back. It's a scrappy fight. Anion will get out. 1 minute left on the clock, and time is very much against TSM here. Sorry, against Green Fortnite here. Trying to play through point now. Rocket and Riker dropping to prevent any of that. Flux and Beat available as they want to come through this right-hand side here. They have taken top of castle here. Riker's trying to come behind them, but they know they're coming, so now a difficult staircase to walk up if TSM want to do it. Are they just going to play point instead? Because that point's getting away from them. Now they want to come up the stairs, but they're going to walk into this Flux. But Flux catches behind them. Desitine has to be careful. Still looking for it. Takes a chunk of damage here. Has been forced super deep. Rock doesn't catch onto Maple, but gets the kill anyway. I think they've stabilized here. TSM are falling. One late trade from Rocket. It is X10 as well, so no chance to sit on the high ground for X10 just yet. But 15 seconds left. They've given them a chance to capture second here. CJ's still in. Will TP out to their team. Kitsune Rush, repush available. Seonjun is coming back on the Pharah. Halo has the beat though, but as does Maple. Support ult advantage here for TSM coming through. Pressure early onto Bubblegum. Beat has come out. Maple still has this beat though. And that could be the finisher if they can find it. They're just holding. They try to focus down Desitine now. Desitine sees so much help. Suzu and Matrix to keep them up for now. X10 has this big off angle. Super low though. Just get one trade. I don't think it's enough though. Bubblegum on point. Riker's going to clean that one up. Halo and Bubblegum have it all to do now. Riker's going to have another form. They focus down Halo first. Halo's duped them all though. Bubblegum's getting the touch for now. Halo can't quite get one more touch. Gave him the slip. And all they get is first and most of second, which isn't the end of the world on Icon World. It certainly is defendable from this point. But TSM have looked more in control than they haven't. Especially in that first point, very dominant. A lot of the fights that ended up going Green Fortnite's way were scrappy. X10 having to do a lot of the heroics here. Desitine still having issues in this frontline trade, just able to get bullied so much. They're always having to use the Suzu to try and bail them out. The Matrix isn't saving them in a lot of situations.
Ready for battle.
And it looks like Ramatra will be the choice here. Ramatra, Kiri, Sojin. So it'd be interesting to see how many of Green Fortnite's problems this maybe just immediately solves. Because not only does Ramattra... Not only is it a very strong hero at the moment, it means it's not going to pull as many resources as the Sigma was. Which actually might mean this solves some of the other problems in terms of X10 getting focused down a lot by Riker and Rocket, and maybe it shifts the balance of power a little bit in this series. Looks like it'll be a standard hold. Seonchun will go for the grapple shot, but nobody's going to fall for a grapple shot on Eichenwald. Whoa. X10 playing with fire. Nothing doing though. And we'll swap onto the Cass here. So Cass versus Sojin. X10 has looked fierce so far though. The initial slow onto X10 forces them back. But it's left side now. TSM want to come. They're walking through. Pressure onto X10 again. Needs a lot of help. Desetting can form at the choke. Now they need Pocket, but it's Bubblegum who finds the first pick. X10's got another one as well. The threats behind have been taken care of. And they can look for a chase. Slow puts a lot of pressure onto Riker, but was able to shield out. Another shield behind him. More pressure onto Riker here, and X10 is not done yet. X10, Bubblegum, Desetting, they're all bearing down on TSM, but they won't find any more. And now with the first fight, and Kitsune rush advantage here. Also now Overclock's getting dangerously close, and Halo's really far ahead on beat as well. It's only the Ramattra here where Riker's got a significant annihilation advantage. Come in right-hand side. Riker's going to drop it again. Just eyes on X10 here. X10 will go out to the high ground. Kitsune rush in response. Beat as well. A heavy response here, but they do focus down and punish Riker for it as well. Now they come all the way back. Attention onto CJ and Rocket. They want to get as many of these cleanup kills as they can because they use both support ults in that fight. Which means this next fight, super tricky for Green Fortnite. A chance to start with High Noon, maybe Kitsune rush towards point. Beat if they get into trouble here, TSM. Desetine can buy a lot of time with this Annihilation. We'll probably have to use it mostly defensively. But honestly, need maybe a play with this Overclock or Pulse Bomb if you're Green Fortnite in this one. High Noon to start it. It's quite early, and X10 will hit the response. Only has Riker to shoot at for now, and our Halo falls to the High Noon. X10 has been forced away from point. TSM will be happy just to take the pressure. They have beat if they get in trouble again. But push comes now from Riker. Pulse Bomb over the top. Nowhere to go for X10. They'll clean up first point. Took them a couple of attempts, but TSM ultimately able to punish the heavy ulting usage in the previous fight. And give themselves a first cap here on Eichenwald. And 4 minutes to win the map and win the series. Annihilation was held throughout now from Desetine, which means the ult situation looks a lot more respectable this time around. We're going to have a beat and Annihilation trade here. So they'll drop to the choke initially. Bubblegum's going to match Rocket in Castle. Rico will be forced out of Rocket. That will slow him down. Desetine's taken loads of damage. Actually has to pop the Annihilation here. And Maple still has beat. And Ian's going to have to Kitsune rush soon. They might need that sooner rather than later here. Desetine has to be careful. Now the slow from Riker. Just a big battle at the choke right now. Anian has Kitsune rush. Maple has beat. Coming, Kitsune rush around the corner. Riker's going to try and meet pressure onto the Kiri, but TP forward. But the rest of TSM have TP'd out, but Riker has not been able to disengage. Riker is going to get caught there. They try and High Noon to save it, but it's too little too late. And TSM will force the recall out of Rocket. Might even be able to punish him without the recall here. They're walking forward. Desetine needs so much help, but Pocket's desperately coming. Pulse Bomb over the top. Desetine just absorbs that damage. Somehow, someway, Desetine has survived, but Pocket was enough. They still need more help right now. And they've stabilized. They've actually stabilized this one here. Still fighting. And as the dust settles, it's going to be Kitsune rush advantage. Beat available as well. So 2 support ops to 1 in the favor of TSM. And they have Annihilation advantage here. Just want to make sure you get a lot of ults out here as if you can if you're Green Fortnite. TSM are going to come to the high ground. Both teams going to flip the map. And Ian's going to anchor point for now. We'll TP back to her team. Rocket's going to try and get the payload moving, but Bubblegum will deny it. Anian with Bubblegum here. Now they're coming top. Kitsune Rush will be used. They try and disengage. Beat over top. And Xten's found Maple. Where's the beat, Maple? Ajax from Maple. Xten's going to do everything here. And this is not just a big win in this fight. Oh, Riker's going to pop the Annihilation. Riker thinks he can win. He can trade too, but is it enough? He's going to group up with Rocket, but Bubblegum, Halo, Anian, they're all there. Maple's come back quickly to make it a 3v3. It's a dogfight on point, and the spawns are actually quicker here for TSM. Looking for a desperate trade if they can. Riker is low, but will live. But that was a huge ult fight here. They need to be careful not to stagger too much out. Halo's going to get boot back. Oh, boot back again for double boot, but Halo's... No! Oh, she was so close to making it out. She gets booped by the concussive mine. Booped by the boop. And now it's a last fight situation, but Anian has this Kitsune Rush. Desatine has the Annihilation. They have the ults to win the fight if they can get out here. Desatine coming one way. Bubblegum gets the touch from the other. They group up on point now. Kitsune Rush, here it comes. Pressure out. Riker forces X10 back, but the damage is done. The Kitsune Rush does its job. 1 minute left on the clock. And thanks to those X10 heroics, there's a chance. There's a chance, but they need to be careful not to stagger here. Anian in a lot of trouble against Riker. Will get taken down for trades. Oh, it's such a bad time to trade. Sionjun is still coming down from above. Where is Desatine going? They're in deep. They're in so deep. There's no way out of this one, surely. Pops the Annihilation. A hopeful clutch. Not close at all, though, but X10 has the trade. Riker's going to cap, though. Somebody needs to touch. Halo's going to get back on the point. Bubblegum is back now. X10's found another. Halo's got Maple. Bubblegum needs help on the point. Anian's coming. X10's coming. They're all there, and there's 4 of them alive. CJ nearly has Kitsune Rush. Riker's getting close to the Annihilation, but will he get to it in time? CJ, 97%. Pulse Bomb on the Diva. Beat comes out from Halo, but Barrage gets nothing. 8 seconds left on the clock. It's just Maple. CJ has Kitsune Rush coming back, but can Maple touch? I don't think so. Anian bearing down on him, and no! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll load into Route 66 as our decider, and I don't think many people expected to be here. I think, obviously, TSM came into this one as big favourites, and that previous map, it felt like TSM had multiple chances just to close it out, to cap on their attack level. They needed to get to the end of second, but they lose that huge ult fight. The Maple Ajax, courtesy of X10, was the big swing factor, and then after that, it just got so messy. Even then, Desatine gets caught so far behind, throws away the Annihilation. And that surely should have been the decisive moment for TSM to take their map win and close out the series. But now we are going over to Route 66. And it's going to be a BAP Brig setup from Green Fortnite here. Ash on the side of X10, who really has been at the forefront of all the success Green Fortnite has had so far in this series. And it's going to be Dive, but it's going to be Icy on Dive. Normally we see Riker play the Winston. So it's going to be Anna Brig, Sionjun in for the Sojourn, Icy on Winston here. Sigma from Desatine, again, clearly a comfort. Early jump by Icy to try and get space, and Sionjun is with a shutdown for Bubblegum. They try and turn their attention to Icy now, but oh, Halo does not want to be on the floor versus this. Will get focused down through the lamp. Now just any trade will do, but Desatine's going to have to get out of that, as will X10. If they've lost this fight so quickly, they actually don't really have any ults for this retake. We're going to have to try and walk through this choke. And we've seen CJ before, mainly on Parisio, where they played some more of this Anna Brig comp. We saw CJ hit a lot of nades. A chance to hit one at the choke here. Pocket onto Icy. Here comes the nade now. Catches onto Halo. And they've just gotten pinned back at this choke. It's such a hard touch here. Bubblegum is getting the touch, but needs help from their team. And they're just getting mowed down here. A difficult retake for this type of comp. The nade made it a little bit harder. And a very straightforward first point. Did have some questions about why we ended up on this map from Green Fortnite, as we did think it was possible that, one, it's a dive-favored map, and TSM have that in their locker, so they might well use it. It certainly seems like they're using it here. It's going to be a Diva swap now from Desatine. So chances to eat the nade, chances to focus down the Winston. A chance to contest this high ground. Jump on the choke, though, from Icy. Chance to go with Primal if he really wants. but happy just to keep them contained. Oh, there's the nade though. Eyes on X10. Lamp is out. Can Icy find the finish? There we go. X10 boots in again. Icy is good with the primal. Turns their attention to Anion now, and Anion is getting taken for a ride. Bubblegum's low as well, but Icy doesn't get a chance to shoot the right click. And this payload has been moving the entire time. Desatine is behind. They're sort of coming. Potential to retake from every door if they want here, Green Fortnite. But the ult situation is difficult. Nano available here for CJ. Icy going to keep this choke relatively tough to walk out of. There's the window, but the nade is good again. CJ was close. They weren't ready for it. Maple's going to rally Jax now, but I think this time it won't stop their second attack. This time, they will cap it regardless. Thought they could rally to live near Maple, but they could not. So they have to use all the ults in the end, but they get a 5-minute time back going into third. Halo has rally advantage now. So a pretty significant advantage here. Should be difficult for them to find too much value unless CJ can thread a nade through somehow. Just trying to take the initial space on this corner. Icy and Maple going to try and deal with this Diva. Bubblegum comes in as well. Have to use a bubble defensively, Icy, but Sion just found the pick in main. They have the rally if they really want to turn it. Halo's looking for it as well. Just trying to stay alive now. Winston on her. And Rocket gets the bubble off. No good. They still trade out quite aggressively here. But CJ just about alive for now. It's just a baby. And Anion on point. And it's been all TSM all the way. And now we're looking at a Nano Primal situation. So, more eyes on CJ. We'll drop this Nano, presumably on Icy again. Try and connect the nade. Has to try and work around the Matrix here. Dodges the Pulse Bomb initially. Will walk forward. Diva is still coming. Has to nade defensively. Meanwhile, this Primal is going from Icy. Sleep is there. There's a Nano available if they want it. Maybe they don't need it. Now it goes on to Icy. Round the corner from CJ. They are just coming forward. They're able to get all the kills they want. They're not losing anybody. Desperation Pulse Bomb. Sleep in the air. And a classy Route 66 attack here. They do have Kitsune Rush soon, so it's maybe not quite over yet. They will get one more touch. There's the rally. That'll finish it. And alright, I don't think you can really ask for too much more out of a Route 66 attack. Puts themselves in a position you'd think would be very hard to match. Likewise, the comp here we've seen, I think FMCL played a similar comp where they were on Bat Brig, Sigma for a lot of it, and they also struggled on Route 66. I think it's a very hard comp to play on this map. I think Dive does have the advantage. Always been a Dive favoured map, Route 66. One of the more difficult ones to either play a Lucio version of a comp or a Bat Brig version of a comp against. But they've got to try and make it work here. And actually, interestingly enough, it's going to be Bat Brig Sigma on the defense from TSM. So I think if you're Green Fortnite, you're quite happy to take this. Take a Bat Brig mirror. Hyunjin will be starting on the Ashe. Expect them to take the mirror, I think, once they see this. They're starting on Winston, Kiri, Lucio now. Obviously, the conversation that Green Fortnite are having in Spawn right now is very much, how do we solve Dive? What do we do against Dive? So they're considering to mirror the Dive in this situation. But they'll find out relatively quickly that's not the case. Yeah, they go to Bap, Lucio, Sigma anyway. They might change the comp again once they see the Brig. Maple's existence has been confirmed. But it looks like Halo will not be swapping. Trying to hold top right here is Maple and Rocket. The rest of TSM on this difficult to dislodge gas position. But now Bubblegum will just be happy to force point. Icy's going to try and stall it out from top as best he can. And Seonjun's going to find that pick on Bubblegum. And that'll slow them down one more time. Slow and steady is the nature of the Bad Brig comp. They're quite happy just to control everything. Be hard to dislodge, lock down all the chokes. And on Route 66, it's quite a narrow map, so it's really quite possible to do that. Boop. Onto Halo, knocks her down, and she has gone over to that Brig now. Thought that might be on the cards, and oh, X10 just gets caught. Rocket and Icy combined for that one. And now they can drop and clear the payload if they want here. They've got stagger kills on their mind, but Desert does get the rock in time. Will get forced back, but Seonjun, look at this angle, taking the aggressive angle of a high ground. Halo is getting chased all the way out. X10 is back on Widow. Looking for some kind of trade, but nothing to be had. Interested to see if X10 sticks in this here. Might just do it. They're struggling for openings. They're struggling for movement. So the Widow pick might just be what they need, but the Pulse Bomb to Desert Team will stop their cart progress. And it really feels like they don't have a next step once they get to this corner here at Green Fortnite in terms of where they go next or what they're going to try and do. Looks like they might just be putting their eggs in the X10 basket. But it's a pretty good basket. Pretty good basket. We'll see if she's able to find the opening for him here. Abby just to wear down his Sig Shield for now. Gives him a bit of freedom. Bob on point will slow him down more. Limited opportunities for X10 so far. Catches Rocket, but again, Desert focused down on point. Grapple shot, nothing to shoot at but a Sigma. Desperate for more openings. And oh, CJ wants to fight! CJ wants to fight! And TSM will take a step forward to spawn. And this very much feels like TSM feel the victory is theirs to take. They'll go back to their normal hold. Ult slowly but surely coming up for everyone. X10 over to the Sojin now. Bubblegum onto the Genji. Rally and Flux available here for TSM. Might just Flux as they try and come out the choke here. Desert Team might even just have to Flux. Just try and create a bit of space here. There's the rally push from Maple. Halo will mirror it. Flux now over top. Catches everyone. X10 will get killed in the air. Lamp saves Desert Team. They window as well for more space. Meanwhile, Bubblegum's trying to make some moves on the back line, but CJ and Seonjun have that one under control. 30 seconds left on the clock. That was a lot of the ult bank spent. And actually, Rocket's going to trade. Desert Team sees a chance to try and turn this. Has to avoid for Rock, though. So Icy rocked from above. Icy is low on HP, and this is their chance. Green Fortnite can finally take a step round this corner. The whole team is coming this time. Desert Team will get onto the high ground. Wants to clear that. X10 with them. More. Maple still trying to hold close here. Pulse Bomb in the back, but Anian has Lamp. Keeps herself alive, but now the Bob behind is going to force them all to take a step forward, but they take a step forward into a more treacherous situation. But focus on point. Bubblegum can't find the trade, and it'll be a full hold. It'll be a full hold. Not too much to be said about that. Clearly an advantage for TSM in terms of how better suited their comp was, especially on the attack. And then it didn't feel like they had great solutions to Route 66 at all, Green Fortnite. You have to maybe wonder, why did we end up on Route 66? Because it didn't feel a particularly comfortable map for Green Fortnite at all. I think, wow, TSM is probably a step too far. I don't think the worst performance we've ever seen from Green Fortnite. I think maybe the fact that they're a bit reluctant to play RAM is causing them issues. I think the fact that maybe they are limited comp-wise, at least from what we saw today. I don't know as much about the team, so maybe I'm wrong, but at least from what we saw today, they certainly seem pretty limited in terms of the competitions they wanted to play or felt comfortable playing. Meanwhile, for TSM, I mean, the Icon World was maybe a series of unfortunate events. They really should have closed that out. They maybe let the chaos creep in, especially after that Ajax fight. I think in terms of X10, I think certainly impressed. Not a player I've seen a lot of before, but you can't argue with what you saw, can you? Big results, essentially a map winning Ajax from her with that one onto Maple on second. swinging that big ult fight, such a huge moment in that map. Meanwhile, on the side of TSM, pretty solid performances across the board. I don't know if I had to pick a player of the match. So I felt CJ was pretty good across. Maybe it's CJ again. Obviously, it's a little bit tricky sometimes with some of the TSM games because they rotate the roster. It feels tricky to give player of a match to a player who only played 1 or only played 2 of the 3 maps or something, whereas it feels like CJ was pretty good. The Suzu save on Iconwald was very good. All these ults seemed to get pretty good value. There was maybe only one that was disengaged early on Samoa. And Viana seemed to do its job. Didn't see him dying much. Found the nades in more fights than he didn't. So I think reasonable to give CJ player of the match here. And while it certainly seems like Green Fortnite are a few steps short of challenging, say, a TSM or a Luminosity or anything like that consistently, I actually think top 8 probably seems really on the cards for them. Top 8 probably seems really on the cards for Green Fortnite. So happy to see a bit more of them, and I'm sure we'll probably actually watch a few more of their series now. They've sort of climbed their way up the rankings. On the TSM side, we've watched 2 games this week from TSM versus Pip and versus Green Fortnite. 2 games they would expect to win, 2 games they did win. Maybe the Pip one was a little bit cleaner than his Green Fortnite one, but the real test for TSM will come later. I think those were obviously week 3 fixtures we watched there. The round 6 and round 7 fixtures from TSM this week. Next up, TSM have Valentine, another straightforward game. And then they have Luminosity as well. And that's where the test starts to get a little bit real for TSM. Because once they get past that Valentine game in round 8, their next 3 fixtures are Luminosity, followed by Students of the Game, followed by M80. So I think in these next 4 rounds of a Valentine game aside, I think we'll get a real measure of how good TSM are right now and what their current power level is in relation to the rest of North America. So still nice to see them, and congratulations to them for their wins this week. A clean sweep for TSM this week, and congratulations CJ player of the match, and I'll see you all in the next one.